brace ourselves for those short rains. So clearly, brace yourself for that. Nonetheless, we are here to just put you up to speed with what has been happening in the country and beyond from what we have in store for you this Monday morning. Clearly a loaded show for you. Interesting conversations and interviews underway, as well as also what the different dailies will be having. And not forgetting how the news look like, and moreover, how our roads will be looking like. Our focus being on Langata Road this Monday morning. And if you're someone who uses that particular, then clearly you have noticed what has been happening on that specific section, particularly around the Timor roundabout area. So that will be your focus this Monday morning. And kama kawaida, we urge you to stay put up until the end of the show. And obviously, I'm not alone. The team is here, ready, bright lights, to just put you up to speed. Nani? Piki Piki Ponky Regina.
Oh yeah, it was definitely bound to happen. Good morning indeed. It's the first day of this week, being March 21st, 2022. You tuned to Good Morning Kenya, and as you can see, the crew is here ready to, you know, bring you up to speed with all matters, pertaining current affairs. I'll be handling news that has been making headlines in the last 24 hours, and we encourage you to get online, especially on Twitter, and tell us where you're watching this particular broadcast from. Our Twitter handle, as far as the station is concerned, is at KBC Channel 1. Mine is at Ray Manyara. The political scene is continuing to heat up. Yes, we're already on the campaign trail. From me to you is that kagua kabla ya kuchagua. Let's also hold these leaders accountable to their words. If they failed us before, what is stopping them from failing us in the next 10 years? That's a question I'm asking myself, and I hope you'd also ask yourself, because at the end of the day, Wanjiko, that is you and I, the voter, is actually the employer. So please, let's act like employers and not employees. Good morning once again. Happy to be here. It's a great Monday indeed. Victor.
So are you selling medicated cream in beauty shop? The police is coming for you. I'll give you reasons why. Reasons why. And of course, Education CSC, as George Magoha says, that there are new tough rules for the examiners and even the students sitting their Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. Sometimes over the weekend, a couple of some students were arrested for leaking examination papers before exams started. And there was some kind of a group which was formed. Was it the Telegram? Where a paper was being sold at a particular fee, and a couple of people were arrested. You know, my word is, if the students prepare for 4 years to sit for the examination, let them do their bit. On the political scene, today we want to talk about the issue of Deputy President calling on the name of the President. Akai kando, animwache mzendi deal na yeye. That's according to the DP. We will be dealing with that later on in the next hour on Eye on Politics. Welcome to the show. My name is Victor Ulo. Jen Wamboi Kibera.
Well, fourth welcome to the program. It is a beautiful day. We are glad you are with us right here on Good Morning Kenya. I am Jane Wambui, and as you've rightfully heard it, the political scene is just, it's on a roll, and it's bound to get even more intense. Just today, looking at the daily, they're now looking at how political groups are now aiming or looking to distort and edit video and photographs just to show
the propaganda
that they have a bigger number of followers. It's a competition when it comes to numbers to see who has more people, who has than the other. Then there's also the concern around rivalry with between these political factions, and especially where there are siblings or people that are related in the same political faction. So politics is definitely taking center stage. Of course, that will be coming up in not too long, courtesy of Victor. But nonetheless, we are grad. What date is it today?
Grad.
21st. We're glad you're with us this beautiful morning. Once again, the hashtag to use is Good Morning Kenya. But as Regina would say, without much further ado, let's get the latest in what has been happening in the last 24 hours.
Talking about what has been happening in the last 24 hours is, I don't know what you think. Where should Kenya be ranked in as far as the World Index, the UN World Index of the happiest and the saddest countries? Where do you think Kenya should rank?
We are happy people.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes.
We are happy people.
We always find a reason to stay happy.
Have you walked through the market and stepped on someone's tomato? Of late?
You'll make fun out of it.
Or even had an argument with a stranger? Well, I tend to think Kenyans are really struggling with so much. So if it was about the happiness index, trust me, Kenya would not be ranked at the top. But that will be coming up in not too long as we sample those stories that have been making headlines in the last 24 hours. Now we start off with matters politics, where Deputy President William Ruto maintains that President Uhuru Kenyatta should keep off succession politics. He was speaking after staging several rallies in Murang'a, where he said he was confident of winning the August polls, even with his main competitor, Raila Odinga, allegedly enjoying state support.
The Kenya Kwanza team, led by Deputy President William Ruto, was in Murang'a County for the umpteenth time to consolidate its support in the region. The DP again urging President Uhuru Kenyatta to stand aside and let him and former Premier Raila Odinga battle it out for the presidency in upcoming elections.
Namuomba kwa heshima, ndugu yangu rais, please, wewe tukaa kando. Waachie mimi huyu mzee wa kitendawili. Huyu nitamumalizia asubuhi na mapema. Ateatia.
Ruto promising to create a special fund of 100 billion shillings to cater for the youth employment if he ascends to power. The Kenya Kwanza team expressed confidence of winning the presidential election in the first round.
Tungetaka kumwambia Murang'a, sisi tunajua kazi yetu, tarehe 9 tutaamuka mapema, tuangushe Raila aende nyumbani. Reason why tuna support chama ya UDA. Na pamoja ni kwa sababu tunaangalia maneno ya mkulima. Tunaweka maneno ya guaranteed minimum returns for coffee farmers, for tea farmers, for milk farmers. Ndio pia wao wakienda kulima wajue bidhaa zao hazitawahi enda chini ya bei fulani.
Kenya Kwanza itaboresha uchumi. Harambe!
UDA. Hey! UDA.
The team once again faulted the handshake for disrupting the Jubilee government development agenda.
Mgeni kwetu. Kitendawili sisi tunamjua. Sini ule amevunja chama ya Jubilee. Sini ule ameharibu serikali ya Jubilee.
Azimio la Umoja Brigade is determined to secure Raila Odinga's win without a runoff in the August 9th general election. The team on Sunday rallied the residents of Ruaraka and Mathare constituencies to turn up in large numbers and vote for Raila Odinga and candidates under the Azimio la Umoja coalition.
For the 5th day running, Azimio la Umoja Brigade has been combing Nairobi estates, popularizing Raila Odinga's candidature in the upcoming August polls. Addressing the city residents in Mathare, Ruaraka and Embakasi North constituencies, the Azimio la Umoja Brigade, led by ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, expressed confidence Raila Odinga will win the August polls by a landslide.
Sasa tunasema raundi hii hata hatutaki 50 plus 1%. Raundi hii tutapata 80 plus 1%. Tunajua timu ya Ruto washaogopa. Na raundi hii we will teach them a political lesson. Sasa sisi tukiwa watu ya biashara nchi mzima tumesema ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
The leaders are determined to mobilize their strongholds in Nairobi City County to ensure the Azimio la Umoja coalition wins majority of the seats. The team also took issue with the continued attacks by Deputy President William Ruto against President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Tuko na Raila Amolo Odinga na sisi tutashikana na yeye mpaka mwisho.
Elsewhere, the ODM party and Jubilee party leaders in Kajiado County have embarked on joint political campaigns in an effort to promote the Azimio la Umoja coalition manifesto of unity of purpose. According to the leaders, the continued unity effort aims at averting politics of animosity and curb fallouts after party primaries.
Kajiado is not a battleground county. Kajiado is an Azimio la Umoja County.
Nimepiga simu, nimeongea na chama kuanzia juu mpaka chini, na hakuna zoni Kajiado County. Tunasimamisha watu wa Jubilee, tunasimamisha watu wa ODM.
Finally, Vihiga Senator George Haniri has now joined Azimio la Umoja coalition through the United Democratic Party of Kenya, a month after announcing he had parted ways with ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi.
Hii demokrasia ambayo tunaenjoy saa hizi, mzee akafungwa jela miaka 9. Wakati alifungwa jela miaka 9 alikuwa ameiba kitu ya nani? Alifungwa jela miaka 9 kwa kupigania demokrasia ambayo tunaenjoy saa hii.
Azimio la Umoja is the most popular coalition in Mombasa County, followed by Kenya Kwanza. This is according to a survey released Sunday by Infotruck. Raila Odinga led the coalition at 51% popularity rate compared to Kenya Kwanza at 23%. Timothy Kipnusu has the details of this report.
With about 4 months left before Kenyans go to the polls, Infotruck has released a survey of how the Mombasa County residents will cast their vote if elections were held today. The Azimio la Umoja coalition, led by the presidential aspirant Raila Odinga, appears to be the coalition of choice for the 1,953,558 registered voters in Mombasa. The survey was conducted between 9th and 12th of March 2022. Speaking in Nairobi, the Infotruck research manager Jovin Wanyingo says the Azimio la Umoja coalition commands a lead in Mombasa by 51%, followed by the Kenya Kwanza coalition by 23%. The One Kenya Alliance was placed third at 3%.
We sampled 2,410 adults, that is those are with 18 years and above from Mombasa County. And this poll was commissioned by Aki Africa, who are in this room. Basically, they wanted to do mapping of various wards and constituencies with regard to key issues of concern, how issues of COVID have affected the residents of Mombasa.
Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir is the most popular gubernatorial aspirant in Mombasa at 48%, followed by Suleiman Shabal at 18%.
All those further details are available on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. Now we cross over to Kisumu County for an update on week 2 of the KCSE with none other than the CS Education Professor George Magoha.
10,000 odd head teachers. 1 or 2 of them will connive with the security people there and photograph that paper and put on the internet. Now, that is not a leakage. So that word leakage is repugnant and it's totally unreasonable, unless there is another narrative which somebody wants to have with regards to the integrity of these exams. Having said so, we have now come to a very painful conclusion that we do not need cell phones in the examination centers, except 2 cell phones for emergency purposes. One that shall be with the head, with the center manager, and another one with one of the security men. The reason being, there could be something that is interactive. A child may fall sick, and there may be need for communication. But for all the other mortals like myself, then vigilance and supervisors, and the other security people, they will leave their cell phones at home. They don't need them. This is the enemy of the examination process for our children. And I hope that by the time we reach Friday, we can relax this rule, because all the subjects in terms of the marking process of the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, we are doing extremely well. We are about to complete that subject to the availability of His Excellency the President. We should be able to give you the results either later this week or at the very latest early next week. Unless there is a question that you want to ask, may I first of all thank the members of the Fourth Estate for being helpful, but also request them to be realistic. That's why I asked one of them to be the one to open those boxes. A leakage in an exam means that you have the paper way ahead of the process, several days or even a month before, like used to happen. When our children are already in the classroom, the people who are breaching the integrity of this exam, and they are very few, they are doing so to justify the money that they have collected from stakeholders who don't value their children. And I don't think they are going anywhere. And when I give you my own assurance as the head of the education sector in this country that the examination has not leaked, take it to the bank. Those who have chosen to play hanky-panky business, and we catch them, don't support them, because it is by choice, isn't it? Every child in this country must have equal opportunities to take examination under the same conditions. So as those few others who are going to try to continue attempting to early expose this exam, I think the choice is yours. The final thing I want to say is that stop blowing out these attempts out of proportion, because if there's one attempt at a particular school which has 1,000 children, those are not 1,000 attempts. It is one attempt with one mastermind, and you can see that our security agencies, which are working in a multi-agency order, are able to catch up with them. So from where I sit, and in my view, because we consolidated the centers, have you seen any National Youth Service officer among the police? The answer is no, because we only have police officers now. And if you are unhappy that we are catching all of them, then on whose side are you? This is the question. If you are unhappy that we are catching all of them, then on whose side are you? Are you on the side of your children? Because it is not about government and you, it's about the children. So the police and all the others are giving it the very best shot. And the fact that if we have an incident, which, for example, the one that took place in Siaya, where in one classroom you had a large number of cell phones, that's one incident. You can't now say that, oh, that one, because it has 1,000 children, therefore there are 1,000 attempts or 1,000 attempts at cheating. It works very simple. In the event that you post it on the internet, then you have to smuggle phones back into the classrooms with the answers that have been done. And therefore, now that we have said there shall be no phone in any school, it will not matter at all. We also accept that there are a few crooks or goons among teachers who will attempt to expose the second paper. But if the children are already in the classroom and they just have a window of half an hour between the first and second paper, tell me how that exposure is going to help them. So it is something actually which, in my opinion, not very intelligent, if not stupid. So let us protect our children and give them the courage that they are competing on an even ground. Unless there is a question that you want to ask. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Have you devised a way to...
Now, that was a live update on what is happening as KCSE enters week 2 with the CS Professor George Magoha there speaking firmly on 2-pointers, exam cheats, and putting them on notice, saying perpetrators and masterminds will be dealt with the full force of the law, and going forward, no cell phones within examination centers with the exception of only 2 for emergency cases, saying that access to communication through the phone is a threat to the integrity of the national examinations, given what we have experienced in the last 2 weeks. However, he maintains that the exam has not been leaked, and those who are in support of exam cheats should be keen on ensuring that the examinations provide an equal opportunity for all students. And on that note, we want to wish all the candidates who are sitting for the examinations all the best. And just to keep note that, the Ministry of Education has confirmed that later this week or earliest next week, we're going to have the KCP results in. Now we speak to other matters, and this looking at, matters of, health, where a family in Kabweyo, Baringa North, is appealing for medical support to treat their 3-year-old daughter, Purity Chepyegon, who has a heart condition. The family says they have exhausted all their funds and are now calling on well-wishers to come to their rescue and help their daughter get treatment in India. The family requires 2 million shillings to have young Chepyegon treated and able to lead a normal life.
The pain of a mother with a suffering child. Purity Chepyegon has been sick since she was 2 weeks old in 2019. It is in Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital where the young Chepyegon was diagnosed with a trioseptical defect, a condition of having a hole in the heart.
Daktari akatupatia dawa, akatuambia mpatie mtoto. As the time tukiendelea, tukarudi nyumbani, tukakuja kukaa na mtoto. Mtoto akakaa almost 1 year. Eko ya pili ikarudiwa tena.
Little Chepyegon was diagnosed with 2 holes in her heart, which requires specialized treatment in India.
Hapo ndio masi kwa hiyo alituambia mtoto lazima apelekwe India kwa upasuaji. Tukarudi nyumbani.
Her mother, Vicky Chemjor, who does many jobs to survive, is appealing to well-wishers to help her get the 2 million shillings required to secure treatment in India.
Sisi kama familia tunaomba usaidizi. Tusaidie huyu mtoto apelekwe dawa India. Mchango tulifanya mara moja, lakini haikufika mahali. Tumepata pesa kidogo 10,000.
According to Area Assistant Chief Richard Cheboy, the family is vulnerable and requires the support.
Naomba tu kwa Wakenya wote wishes, tunaona huyu mtoto pata ako mchanga na tunataka tutimise maisha yake ya kesho na ya baadaye.
To help baby Purity Chepyegon, donations can be channeled to pay bill number 804-5517, account name Purity Chepyegon.
You can get further details on how you can help the young girl there access medical attention in India. It's all available on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. Now, an estimated 32 beggars on the streets of Thika were busted for pretending to be crippled and begging from residents. The fake beggars were netted following a crackdown by police officers in collaboration with the Thika Town Children's Department in a move to clear the streets of vagrants and and rescue children. Now, there's a surprise of many. A section of those who were earlier crawling and others on wheelchairs stood upright and walked away without a limp.
It is at Thika police station in Kiambu County where a section of the beggars who had confined themselves on wheelchair, faking physical disability, started walking and with right posture. This lady had faked being crippled, crawling on the ground to win the mercy of many and collect money. She too, in what almost looked like a miracle, walked upright without a single limp.
Nimetolewa nchini Tanzania na bosi mmoja ili kwa ajili ya kuja kufanya kazi ya kusukuma vilema. Bosi yangu yeye anaitwa jina lake, anaitwa Mama Mwaru. Na anaishi Kariobangi, Mwisho Blaza. Kazi ambayo wakati tunafanya kila siku hii, kama leo huko Zika, kesho unaenda hata Kayore, ni kubadilisha sehemu kila siku.
Nimekuwa nikiomba pesa huko Thika kwa muda wa miezi 6 na napatanga pesa kama 1,000. Sasa nilikuwa na mipango kwa kuwa hii kazi imekuwa hivyo, niweke kazi nyingine ya kushona viatu na switi. Mimi ni kilemavu, nilingongwa na ng'ombe nikaumia spinal cord.
The crackdown carried out by the Police and Children Department specifically to rescue children from begging on the streets may have come as a blessing to a few children who had been placed on wheelchairs by their guardians.
Kwa siku wakati tunapata shilingi kama shilingi 4,500, anaenda anatoa matumizi kama shilingi 500, ikibaki shilingi hata 4,000 nagawana 2,200.
21 out of the 32 beggars busted are children.
Unfortunately, there were children who seemed to have disability. They were wheeled here on wheelchairs. But upon arrival and interview, we realized that we could observe their muscles were working.
Thika Sub-County Children Officer Lina Mudhoni cautioned residents against giving out money to avoid encouraging those behind the business.
They get a lot of money. So what they do, they come here, work for 1 year. Work is begging. For 1 year, they have good capital. They go to Tanzania, invest that money.
Well, indeed, just in case you're wondering why there's an upsurge of beggars on the streets, some of them may be genuine, but also among the genuine, there are those who are out to fleece innocent Kenyans of their hard-earned money, begging. Their speaking has said that, begging now is a form of work where they, they rake in capital and go and invest it in neighboring countries, including Tanzania. You're going to be keeping tabs on that. That was in Thika. Maybe the same thing should be done in Nairobi. We'll be keeping tabs on that. Now, residents of Kamweleni in Machakos County are protesting what they term as illegal sand harvesting in the area, which they say has interfered with their water sources. The irate residents are now threatening to begin peaceful demonstrations if no action is taken. Purity Museo with the details.
For Kamweleni residents in Machakos County, this is their only source of water, and any interference is a threat to their lives. The residents now lament that sand harvesters have continued to endanger their lives by interfering with their only source of water.
Unaona hii ngome ni kubwa sana na inatuchokeza sana akina mama, na kuna watoto wanakuja huku wanachukua changarawe wanatutukana.
Ilikuwa changarawe ilikuwa imekuja juu, lakini lori inaletwa hapa kwa hii bwawa na wanachota changarawe wanatupa kwa hiyo lori juu na inakuwa ni shida.
They accuse the sand harvesters of allegedly destroying Ikiwe Dam in search of sand.
Tumejenga hii ngome, wengine wameona ni kama tutapaitika, walianza kuchimba ngome yetu, wanatualipia changarawe. Sasa nia yetu ya kujenga tulikuwa tunataka maji hapa, na hii maji inatusaidia sana juu tulikuwa na mpango ya kupika hii maji ipande huko juu, tuanze kuuza maji huko juu itusaidie, sababu hakuna mapato mengine tunapata.
Na tumechoka kwa sababu tulikuwa tunakuja huko asubuhi bila hajatukunywa kitu, na tukakuja tukakaa saa 4 tulikuwa tunapika uji bila sukari wala chumvi tukikunywa hivi, na tunaenda kuchukua mawe huko mbali.
In 2014, Machakos County Assembly passed a law that banned sand harvesting to save the dying rivers.
You're watching In the Headlines right here on KBC Channel 1. For now, we take a quick breather. We'll be back with more news. Do keep it here.
that weak and vulnerable Pinky any longer. I'll let them have a taste of every bit of pain that I'm experiencing now.
What? You found Pinky's suicide note on the shore?
What?
Are you saying my daughter is still alive? Where is she right now? Hurry and tell me.
All right, let's get going.
Oh, Mom. That's the president over there. Do you want to say hi to him?
So we have at the bottom, we have Afghanistan. Then we have Lebanon, which is the world's second saddest country, with Botswana, Rwanda, and Zimbabwe rounding out at the bottom 5. So whatever it is that you do, choose joy, because no one can take that away from you. Week 2 in the KCSE examinations, all the best to the candidates who are sitting for that particular national examination. I'm Regina Manyara, and this is In the Headlines. Now we're going to be speaking politics in not too long with my colleague Victor Olo, so do keep it right here.
Kitwek FM Kegosin.
Mama umenigutusha.
Mbona ukuzama?
Na matusi pia unayo.
Safari, hebu achana na mimi tafadhali. Sijui kama hawa wanangu siku moja watakuja kunielewa.
Anza kwa rafiki yao kwanza kabla ya kwa mama yao. Mimi na Leo hatutaki vita. Na Leo yanipenda. He is definitely our son.
De traición.
Stop it. I have no problem with Mariela being here.
Well, I do.
No.
Mother, what happened? What's going on? Why are you crying? Why?
My son. It's Rogelio.
Have you seen the way Alonso looks at Mariela? You have your enemy way too close, and I think it's about time you did something.
Is there anything you want to say about it, sir?
He was the one who killed her. He killed Florencia?
Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición entre dos.
And welcome back. Now it's time for Eye on Politics, just to take a look at what's been happening on the political scene, of course, to make them, to give them more flesh, actually, in terms of discussing the hits and misses and what happened over the weekend. A lot of conversation have been happening, and we expect much of that to come in the next few months to come. And with me in studio, I have Jacob Maluka, who is political analyst. Welcome to the studio, Jacob.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. And joining me via Zoom, I have got Tabitha Ogutu, all the way from Siaya County, who is also a political analyst and a communication expert as well. Tabitha, good morning. Fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. All right, and one gentleman, Hamisi Mboga, all the way from the coastal town of Mombasa. Hamisi, mzee wangu, mambo vipi?
Asante sana. Good morning, Victor. Tuna miss namna hii kabisa. Sasa tumekuwa kiwanjani. Mimi nasimama Mombasa, Tabitha nasimama Siaya. Sasa hiyo maneno nyinyi muangalie.
You'll have to tell us which kind of positions you're going to buy on. Namisi. This is the right place to go. Come on.
Okay. Okay, gentlemen and lady, today I want us to talk mostly on what's been on the lips of the Deputy President, William Ruto. He's been taking his boss, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta, so to speak, head on, accusing him of siding with the perceived opposition leader, ODM leader Raila Odinga. And during his the three-day tour of central Kenya, starting Friday through Sunday, the DP maintained that he was with the president during his hour of need. But right now, things have changed. But you know what? Politics is the game. So let's take a look at this particular story, which was compiled by our reporter on, where the DP said that, you know what? Head on. Let's take a look at that story first of all.
The Kenya Kwanza team, led by Deputy President William Ruto, was in Murang'a County for the umpteenth time to consolidate its support in the region. The DP again urging President Uhuru Kenyatta to stand aside and let him and former Premier Raila Odinga battle it out for the presidency in upcoming elections.
Namuomba kwa heshima, ndugu yangu rais, please, wewe tukaa kando. Waachie mimi huyu mzee wa kitendawili. Huyu nitamumalizia asubuhi na mapema. Ateatia.
Ruto promising to create a special fund of 100 billion shillings to cater for the youth employment if he ascends to power. The Kenya Kwanza team expressed confidence of winning the presidential election in the first round.
Sisi tunajua kazi yetu, tarehe 9 tutaamuka mapema, tuangushe Raila aende nyumbani. Hizo ni wewe tunasupport chama ya UDA. Na pamoja ni kwa sababu tunaangalia maneno ya mkulima. Tunaweka maneno ya guaranteed minimum returns for coffee farmers, for tea farmers, for milk farmers. Ndio pia wao wakienda kulima wajue bidhaa zao hazitaenda.
Okay, so that was what's happening in Murang'a County over the weekend, and the DP has been calling on the president to stand aside. He has been pleading with his boss to stop campaigning for Azimio's Raila Odinga. So let me get your comments here, gentlemen, starting with you, Hamisi Boga, all the way from Mombasa. So Hamisi, the DP has been calling on the president, more so at his doorstep in central Kenya, for him to step aside. Why do you think the DP is focusing on the president's campaigning for the Azimio presidential aspirant Raila Odinga?
Thank you, Victor, and good morning, all of us in Kenya. I think politically, some of us saw it coming. We saw it coming when 2018, the handshake came. 2019 and 2020, we saw the BBI coming. We saw it coming when the president was saying sometimes to watch it, musitangetange tufanye kazi. We could see it coming, that there is a warning, and I think the writing was on the wall. And I think that the deputy president should have seen it, and I know he must have seen it coming. So maybe now he wants to say, I saw it coming, but I deserve more compared to the support that the president may be giving to Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. But on that view if you look at the politics that has been coming, and if you look at what the president has said, that the BBI is only resting, it's coming back, and also Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga say the reggae will come back. For reggae to come back, Raila and Mheshimiwa Uhuru must work together. So I can see that element from that angle. So whether the deputy president must try other strategies to get as many votes as possible. And two, the Mount Kenya vote is a factor. If you don't get that as much as, even if you get some other places, your cup will be half empty or half full. So it's a critical area where somebody must concentrate. That's why I think the deputy president has spent a lot of time in the Mount Kenya region, and to drum support that actually I supported my brother and friend, the President Uhuru Kenyatta. But now the president is stabbing me from the back. But yes. I think that's a really strategy. It's a political strategy, but we saw it coming, and he should find a way of handling it. But I can't see the president jumping the ship now to support the deputy president when he has already said the continuation of my programs and also the BBI must come back. He's bound to support the Azimio group.
Absolutely. And Tabitha, what's your take on that? The DP is actually blowing that horn quite loud at the doorstep of the president's home, so to speak. So is he hitting the jackpot?
Yes, Victor. I think, first of all, with all these sentiments and headlines the deputy president has been making of late, has rendered him to one person who is very angry. I think we have talked about this. And him saying that the president needs to step aside from the national politics and focus on his legacy. Yes. And at the same time claim that the former Premier Raila Odinga is the person that came in between him and the president. And since the handshake came in, he was sidelined and things like that. And he still wants to sing us the gospel of him wanting to be elected as a president on a basis of the fact that he was supposed to have it. First of all, he appears to be very entitled about this. Something that I think as Kenyans makes us wonder that when is he going to start to talk about agenda, things that he wants to do for this country. He is good in playing blame games than literally selling his own agenda. So far, I've not seen the deputy president touring this country of late. The last times when once UDA was formed, and then we had the One Kenya Alliance or whatever. They literally have stopped. They literally have stopped even the hustler talks. Now it's the president not doing this, the president supporting Raila Odinga, the president sidelined me. At one point he says that we have worked with the president, the projects that you're seeing of the government are a success of both our joint effort. The next minute it is the president who sidelined him, so he has not been able to work on his capacity as the deputy president. And then the president comes and tells us that the deputy president knows how to work well, working and moving with convoys of vehicles on top of the rooftop of vehicles, but not delivering. So from his speeches of late, I'll read somebody who is losing direction, literally somebody whom is still venting out his anger. Of course, it's allowed, of course. What will you do? If at all you literally were banking on somebody to give you support and then they saw that you're not fit enough. Like the president says, that his deputy is not fit enough to be a leader this time. Maybe he can try the next time, then he can support him. And you literally need to understand that Honorable Kenyatta is okay to support any candidate he wants. It's democratic right. So I think moving forward, what you need to see from the UDA camp and the deputy president is we want to hear the country right now has a lot of issues affecting it. We want to hear what he has in terms of solution, in terms of agenda, in terms of manifestos. It's okay, we have heard that the president wronged him, so what next if he becomes the president? So yes, Victor.
Absolutely. All right, so Jacob, let me get your view on this. The DP has been quite vocal on the president campaigning for ODM leader Raila Odinga, and perhaps he's not so happy about it.
Yeah, according to me, I think the president has a right to support whomever he thinks that is able to lead this country after him.
Yes.
But I don't think that he has the right to force it on Kenyans, or rather he doesn't have the monopoly or a monopoly of ideas, so that he tells Kenyans that after I leave, then this is the person that I want to take over me.
Yes.
He can choose personally, he has a vote. Every Kenyan has a vote. So I think he should let Kenyans choose for themselves whomever they want to lead. Remember before, when Raila Odinga was fighting for the common mwananchi in this country, there are certain quarters in this country, including what we call the deep state, or rather the system, were much against his leadership. But today, because he has teamed up with them, and Ruto, the deputy president, is now speaking the voice of the common mwananchi.
Yes.
They have teamed against the deputy president so that they want whomever is supporting what they believe is what they believe in. Or rather, I see a situation where the president wants someone who can safeguard his interests when he leaves. And this person maybe has been identified to be the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga.
Well, it might be to safeguard his interests when he leaves. The president says that he's not interested in any political seat after this, but then now, it's been all over that, the president also, as a voter, as a politician, and he'd love to get someone to continue this project. This is not the first time we've seen even, former presidents or presidents who are finishing their terms campaigning for their person of choice. So why is this becoming so vocal in the DP's quarters?
It's vocal, for one, because the deputy president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, has stood with the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, ever since 2002, when he was first endorsed by the late president, Daniel Arap Moi.
Yes.
And the current president, President Uhuru Kenyatta, has always been opposed to Raila's presidency. So many questions are asked. What changed? Why now? Why is he so much pushing for Raila's presidency? I think that is what is causing a lot of murmurs in the deputy president, so whatever team.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Amisi, the question is, will Kenyans buy that idea, or that narrative of the DP, saying that he's been with the president all through, from 2002 to 2007 to 2013, and here they are today? Do you think Kenyans can buy that narrative?
Look it from a political science point of view, that the two most influential people in Kenya are the president and also the deputy president. So wherever they are, whatever they say, we go beyond their faces, their voice, because they are holding a very influential office. So both of them are using, for example, the deputy president is still the deputy president. So when he goes to a place, whether he's speaking about his future job, but he's still the deputy president. So that effect alone carries some weight. Two, in politics, my brother and sister, my brothers and sisters, it takes only a day. In fact, a day is too long in politics to change. I'll give you a few examples. Even Sabina Chege, the latest change, you change this side and you change this side. Honorable Governor Anna Waiguru, change this side and you change that side. And I'm just giving a few examples. Even the former Vice President, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, he said he will be the last person, I don't want to use the other phrase, he will be the last person to support Raila. Now they are in Azimio, whether it's Azimio Kenya or Azimio Moja. So politics can change, and I think it has changed between the two senior politicians in this country. So the people, for us, it is difficult. For them, they must find out, when did the rain start falling on them? It starts falling on them when 2018 came, and also after 2018, whatever they have been saying, whatever they have been doing. So you can't expect them to sit together right now, in 5 months to the election, to be able to say this is it. It can happen politically. It can happen overnight. But from the face value, from their movements, from their actions, it may not come now. The worst thing is the people who follow them. If you observe the statements that are coming from the sides, apart from the deputy president and the president, those who are supporting them, some of the things they're saying are even making the wage bigger. They are kind of separating the two people bigger, because they are now getting to almost to a personal level. some of the statements that are being said by some of the supporters are even alienating the people. If you attack, for example, if I attack President Uhuru, people will think I'm attacking the whole community of Kikuyu.
Yes.
If you say anything bad about Raila Amolo Odinga, you have finished not only the Nyanza people, even some of we need to have a bridge. There's no bridge between the two people. I can see politically right now, let us just go ahead. There is no way that the president, the efforts and the investment that he has done on supporting those people who are supporting him can change immediately. This is the way. In the next 5 months, we're just going to we call it the box.
All right. Tabitha, let me bring you in here at this particular point. Abis says that at this particular time, the president has made up his mind and is going towards the right direction. But then, do you really think that will change the tide in Mount Kenya for the DP?
Yes, Victor, first of all, before I respond to that question, allow me to respond to the guest in studio, Mr. Juma, that so far the Deputy President has not spoken any language of the common mwananchi. I'm a common mwananchi, and I've not heard him speak my problems. I've not heard him bring solutions. So what he's speaking is what he needs to speak to secure a job for himself past August 8th election. And he's doing it in a very non-decorum way so that he tries to taint images of other people. Right now, like I said, we need him to come forth with what he wants to do. And pretty much we need to also judge him on his track record as the Deputy President, who holds a very senior position in this country, on what he's been able to do, what are the kind of policies we have seen him influencing that has changed the life of this youth that he always wants to try and, brainwash their minds to be hustlers. What has he been trying to improve the life of hustlers? So I think he has not spoken our language. So let us not, tusidanganyane tafadhali. Another thing, I think from my end, I strongly believe that I had Mr. and Mrs. say, I don't know if he said it, that of course one day in politics is a very long day. Anything can happen. But in the case of Sabina Chege, I think that was not an appropriate example. Sabina has not shifted to any camps. I think from what I've read or what I've seen so far, Sabina is in Azimio la Umoja, but other factors held constant for other individuals he mentioned. So for the Deputy President in Central Kenya, one time I remember saying, I think about 2 weeks ago, Victor, when we were doing this show, that we cannot underrate the influence the incumbent president has in the central parts of Kenya. And I said that if at all the Deputy President is going to get any votes from the central, of course he's going to get, he has followers there, but it's not going to be on the basis of sympathy, and it's not going to be on the basis of the fact that he was supposed to be yangu kumi, yaho kumi. It's going to be on the basis of what literally is going to do for the people. So even the people from the central parts of Kenya right now are looking at the Deputy President and saying, of course now you have told us that you're supposed to be given the Yahoo Kumi part.
My fear is these particular people that they want to force on the people of their counties is to safeguard the interests, their self-interests, or rather to try and rather cover up for them for the misdeeds that they have done while they were in office during the 10 or the 5 years that they were in office.
Right.
So I wish that we as Kenyans can take the path in which we are allowed to choose our leaders and not go with the endorsement of leaders who are leaving the office.
But I'm quite interested in understanding why in this particular situation is being said that being forced, because it's an election and you can pick a friend you want. I don't think they're being forced. People are just choosing their political friends, not forcing each other on the electorates.
Yes, you can pick.
Yes.
But you having your own vote, you can pick and vote at the ballot.
Yes.
But using the influence you have while you're still in office and you have the instruments of power, you use the instruments of power to try and sway the thinking, or rather the way people are going to vote.
Yes.
That is what we are talking against.
Okay, I'll still get back to that because we also have governor supporting the DP in his quest for the presidency. So are they not forcing? Are they also being forced on the DP side? You'll answer that question when we come back. Let's take a break. I have got Jacob Mulaku in studio, Tabitha Ogutu via Zoom, as well as Hamisi Mboga all the way from Mombasa via Zoom. Let's take a break. We'll be coming back with more to discuss.
I'm no longer that weak and vulnerable Pinky any longer. I'll let them have a taste of every bit of pain that I'm experiencing now.
What? You found Pinky's suicide note on the shore?
What?
Are you saying my daughter is still alive? Where is she right now? Hurry and tell me.
All right, let's get going.
Oh, Mum. That's the president over there. Do you want to say hi to him?
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
Stop it. I have no problem with Mariela being here.
Well, I do.
No. Mother, what happened? What's going on? Why are you crying? Why?
My son. It's Rogelio.
Have you seen the way Alonso looks at Mariela? You have your enemy way too close, and I think it's about time you did something.
Is there anything you want to say about it, sir?
He was the one who killed her. He killed Florencia?
Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
Mama, umenigutusha.
Mbona ukuzama?
Na matusi pia unayo.
Safari, hebu achana na mimi tafadhali. Sijui kama hawa wanangu siku moja watakuja kunielewa.
Anza kwa rafiki yao kwanza kabla ya kuwa mama yao. Mimi na Leo hatutaki vita, na Leo yanipenda. He is definitely our son.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle, or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns, and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news, and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back. I have got Jacob Mulaku in studio, Tabitha Gutu via Zoom from Siaya, and Hamisi Bog as well via Zoom from Mombasa County. All right, Jacob, so before we took a break, you were saying something, and let me just put it into perspective. I'm not supporting any political side. I am a moderator. So the question I ask does not lean on any political side. That's it. So let me ask you, you are saying that some of the governors are being forced to on the people. But what about the governors who are supporting the DP? They are not being forced on people?
And what we are not getting right here is the governors who are supporting the deputy president.
Yes.
They have a right to do so.
Absolutely.
The governors who are supporting the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga have the right to do so.
Yes.
But my main concern is, for example, if a governor, say from Busia County, is leaving office, when then he fronts a candidate that he says is his preferred candidate, and telling people that you must elect this candidate, that is where my worry comes. What interest does he have that he has to leave someone to come to office after him? Why can't he let the people of Busia choose?
To choose and pick for themselves.
Yes, pick for themselves. Among the people who are presented their credentials for election. The same thing for the top seat. The president, our President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is leaving office. Why can't he let Kenyans choose a president that they want between those who will present their credentials for election? He has a right to choose whomever he likes, or whomever he thinks that can take this country to greater heights. But through the ballot, not through using state machinery to do so.
Yes.
Yes, that is what I mean.
What is the greatest fear in the president doing so?
The greatest fear is president as it stands today, he's still in office.
Right.
He's a symbol of national unity. So if he takes sides, what happens to the other people who do not subscribe to his way of thinking? Do we lose that respect to him as our president? What happens? The elections, during campaigns, let me say during campaigns, there is a lot of murky talks. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of name calling and insults, the Kenyan way of politics. So
and that's quite synonymous with our political scenes.
Yes, I mean, what happens as a president, being a symbol of national unity, people insulting him and calling him names while he's still in office. Why can't he stand aside and let those people who are vying for office do this work for themselves? Raila Amolo Odinga has the potential to do this. I don't think he needs or he requires the input of the president at a public level to secure whatever he wants to be in this country.
Okay. Hamisi, I don't know what's your take on that particular statement that Jacob has just put across.
I'm surprised by my colleague Jacob. When we're here professionally, we all have some feeling for some of the candidates. I have my vote and I know whom. But here I'm trying to open up in terms of understanding professionally or politically what is happening. So everybody has an influence. I wish the vice president was not, the deputy president was not standing, because they are all having influential office. when the deputy president comes to Mombasa, we treat him as deputy president before we listen to him as a politician. But incidentally, this time, he is standing and he has an influence. The president is not standing, but has an influence. So this is what politics is all about. And we need to give credit for where it is. Everybody has an influence. When we campaign for a candidate, we are influencing the people. Those those of us who are on the top of the cars, we're influencing the vote to the preferred one. So everybody has a preference. And what the two must do is to use the strategies to be able to influence the voting without hurting anybody, because I don't think whether the president said you must vote for so and so. I don't think whether the deputy president says you must vote for me because of. So they should just sell the strategies, and I think we should not take sides in terms of saying he should do this, he should not do this. Influence in politics is about stakes. When somebody says they want to protect they must be protecting whatever. Yes and no. They might be protecting whatever they want because they think if so-and-so comes, the system will be good. And when he said some of the people who are in Azimio have questionable, maybe political, financial queries, all of them. Me, I can give.
Mr. Mboga, I did not mention. I did not say governors from Azimio. I say governors in general. Whether they're supporting Azimio, they're supporting Kenya Kwanza. They should stand aside and let Kenyans choose whomever they want to lead the counties.
Jacob, they can't. And when earlier you said it was the governor.
No, you see, when we got that say that they can't, then we are losing this country, because we cannot have leaders who have messed the country and still we want them to continue telling us which way to take. We as Kenyans, Jacob, we have a right to choose the right candidates for ourselves.
Victor, allow me to finish. Jacob, the people on both sides have some issues, and they cannot stand because they are Kenyans. They have a political point of view, and so the people, we are the Kenyans who know. We have been informed. So we'll make a decision whether they campaign day and night or not. We will make a decision, but allow them, because you are also limiting their freedom. Say they should stand aside. They should not support. This is not the democracy we fought for. So allow everybody to say only that our concern is the language they use, the strategies they use, especially, and then the citizenry will make a decision. Who has said something that touches services? Yeah. Because for a long time I've not heard about people talking about the services we shall provide. And we have had the promises we shall be able to do this. The missing link is how. How are they going to provide education? How are they going to provide security? How are they? Because that one will make me decide, this strategy for this particular person is good. So let's open up, let's discuss freedom, let's discuss democracy, let's discuss, but let's make sure that whoever has a point, let them say it. Because if they stay at home, some of them are still interested in coming back. You can't stay at home. You must stay in the system.
Tabitha, allow me to perhaps just get your point on this situation, because why is everyone not so comfortable with the president campaigning for, actually not even campaigning, but fronting Honorable Raila Odinga to be his successor?
What is the level of discomfort in this situation?
Like you, I do not understand. But let me respond a little bit.
Why like me?
To Juma.
Yes.
Honestly,
actually, he's Jacob Mulaku. He's Jacob Mulaku.
Okay, sorry for that. Mr. Jacob Mulaku. You cannot come on a national television and tell us that the president, as a sign of national unity, which he is, him supporting Honorable Raila Odinga as his preferred candidate, and he has not even come to you with a gun on your head and told you that and he hasn't done that to anybody, that you must and you must and you must vote for this candidate. And then you want to tell us that that he's forcing him on people. He's not forcing Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga on any citizen of this country. It's quite despicable for you to come and tell us that. I mean, more than anybody, we know that here we're not literally trying to align or trying to, personally or try to make other people look bad personally. It's not something that we're here to do. We are literally here to discuss things as they are. And when you say that somebody's forcing somebody on this somebody, then you also have to give us a proof, because it can't just be with words. There is no ever day that the president ever spoke on any national television and said, or any place, that I'm forcing Raila Odinga, that if somebody is being forced on you, like if you do not do it, there must be repercussions for that. We have not seen that anywhere. Secondly, then it will be wrong for him to try to say that Kenyans were not united. Kenyans were united. The president has worked so hard to unite Kenyans. Initially, we were not united as Kenyans. You could not go to some part of this country or talk to this part who are speaking this particular language. So far, as Kenyans, we are very peaceful, and therefore do not try and peddle that idea of Kenyans being disunited because the president, as an individual, is supporting his own preferred presidential candidate. Because at the end of the day, the president has to vote like you and me and any other person. And he has to vote for an individual. So the problem is not, if he was supporting Deputy President William Ruto, then we will not be having this discussion of him forcing anybody on anybody. It's just because he has stood his ground, gave us direction, and said, me as the president, niko na kura yangu moja. And since other people also believe in him and would want to also vote the same person that he also wants, then pia si tuteka kura zetu pia huko, and then we vote for somebody who we believe in. The same thing will happen to Deputy President William Ruto. So let us not have double standards again here. But then now, if you're going to say, initially they were telling us that Raila is the government's project, and then we say that the Raila is the people's project, and now that we have proven that it is literally people's project, now is another problem, because now what again are they peddling? I want us that we have conversations that are ideology based. Kenyans, we are dealing with a lot at the moment, and we should not be using that as politics. We should not be using the lives of Kenyans as politics. Let us have leaders who sell the agenda, and let it not be agenda of fallacy and lies and double side talks. Literally, I've also seen that our co-panelist is very good in double sides. He'll say this one this time, and then now when we are trying to really literally get to understand what he's saying, then he pulls out and say, I did not mention that. I want us to literally look at our leaders, because we are trying to give a country direction. And the direction can only be done if we discuss issues that literally matter to Kenyans. We do not care who and who is trying to be forced on who. We want to know, okay, this person who is being forced to Kenyans, is it really good for Kenyans, as you put it? So let us literally have
Tabitha, I think we would like to just rub this word forced off air, so because it's political season, and of course every politician have a right to actually to campaign for their preferred candidate, for that matter, but either way it might sound so or it might look so, and I don't know what Jacob is talking about, because Jacob is in studio here.
I wish to respond to Tabitha.
Yes.
Just before you proceed.
Go ahead.
Now, Tabitha, someone needs not to come with a gun and point your head to be seen to force you to do something. I don't know whether you were in this country when parliamentary committees and leadership were being dismantled and rearranged. The likes of Kipchumba Murkomen at the Senate, Kithure Kindiki and the staff. I think that this is an indication that either way, the president, or rather the state machinery, is hell-bent to have a certain person ascend to power of this country. That is the worry. That is the worry of many Kenyans who love this country. But for those Kenyans who just want to move forward with it's our person, I think they are comfortable with that.
Okay. Tabitha, what do you make of that?
Victor, Yes, I have been in this country. I've been following this events, and I've been contributing to the same discussions. What literally Jacob is not understanding is the fact that you cannot have your cake and eat it. You cannot be in the government and at the same time in the same government.
Kenya is a democratic.
You cannot align yourself as any other thing in the government, and you still deliver services the way they're supposed to be delivered. The president had to streamline his services and how they're being done because he's the head of the government. There had to be some order. So if you want to...
Kenya is not a dictatorship country. It's a democratic country. That is one thing you need to come.
That was democracy. And we are literally trying to tell those people who thought they could have their end of the day by wanting to just come and do things the way they want, that there has to be order. You are either in the government and support the government. You cannot be trying to subordinate a government and at the same time be in it. What they needed to do, they formed the government. They needed to support the Big Four agenda. That is not what they were doing. And therefore, the president, because he has a legacy to keep in the country to, guard over, he had to do something. So,
all right.
Let me see, from Mombasa, you can give us some ocean water to calm this and neutralize. What do you have? We are running out of water here, Amisi.
Come in right now and say, by the way, we are forgetting one thing that is not the president we are talking about, is the presidency. All the time we talk about the presidency. So why are they not talking on the same line so that we hear what does the presidency say? Because the president, the deputy president is as powerful as the president in terms of the constitutional issues. So when any one of them speaks, we hear the country is speaking. When we hear that they are not speaking on the same line, then it's confusing the whole country. So what we're saying is now we have reached at a place where allow them to give us the strategy. For example, I want the deputy president to come and say, apart from whatever I've been saying for the last many months, these are my strategies. These, when I take the office, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. And the process is this. Finished. The rest, politics, leave it to us because sometimes we speak in the outside, but we don't affect the system. But for them, whatever they say, we take it very hard. For example, if you go back to the same old theme that you 10, me 10, when the president makes 10 and then deputy president makes 10, how about the rest of us? Because I want my son also to be the president. When are they coming in? The moment you divide that, you create an impression that these guys would like to stay there forever. And the Kenyans will not allow that. So we are saying, that's why I'm saying this language, whatever we are using, let's be as professional as possible, let's be as polite as, because we are requesting. The leadership, like I said last time, is persuasion. Let's persuade the people who are listening to us to vote for a particular candidate. And I've never seen a forceful statement that you must do this or otherwise. Because if you give a condition, there must be a counter condition. If you don't do this, do this. I have never heard about that. These guys are really doing their job. I want them to straighten the strategies so that they beg. Leadership is hope. We want to get hope. We want to be promised that things will be better, services will be provided, the country will be peaceful. Those are the things that the older people like us would like to hear. And we are saying publicly, please, those who get the platform, let it be used nicely to bring people together than mentioning names. People are using even names. They're using families' issues. His mother, his father, his uncle. No, it can't be. Lastly, I want to say that one time the deputy president says, even if all of them combine together, I'll still beat them. So what has changed? Because now politics has changed. So let's change very fast. Let him use now. When he comes to Mombasa, he should not speak. He should give us nafasi on the platform to speak for him. It will be better because we know the Swahili of these local people here.
Okay, Jacob, you've heard what the two have said, Hamisi and Tabitha, but then this was quite open and quite, so to speak, the deputy president was so open on this on his tour of central Kenya from Friday, Saturday through Sunday. Perhaps he was so strategic in terms of his messaging because he knew he was at the home turf of the president, right?
Yes. Well, I think you're asking when the deputy president asked the president to sit back and let him face the Right Honorable Raila Odinga head-on.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I think it was strategic because he was speaking it from the home turf of the president, and I think he's in order to say so. Because the race actually, as it stands today, as much as we have other contestants who are going to come in for the presidency, as it stands today, the front runners are the current deputy president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and the then Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. So I think it will just be prudential for the president rather to sit back and let these two gentlemen face each other on the campaign trail, especially when the IBC officially calls or rather calls it on.
Yes.
We'll talk Monday to Friday, January to December, but my belief as a person or as a Kenyan, what this country needs today most is civic education. To tell Kenyans about their obligations as the citizens of this country, and tell them about their rights so that they can make informed decisions. But if we leave politicians to tell us what to do, because they come out, there are so many big conference rooms in this country.
Yes.
Why can't they go and sit together and tell each other all these things? They come to TV, or rather they come in public to tell us, what do they want us to do? For example,
because that is politics, and they know how to play it better.
Yeah, but they sit, let them sit in a conference and talk and come and tell us we have a decision. This is what we've talked to the president and we've agreed that this is what we are going to do. Other than coming and telling, Ambia Uyo, do they expect us to go and tell whoever they're
And perhaps that's what Kenyans love. It's a political season.
Yeah, and that is why I started by saying what we need is civic education so that Kenyans are informed, for them to make informed decisions, for them to elect the correct leaders in office, for them to know where their taxes go, when they're paying taxes, what are the taxes supposed to do? Yes.
Okay. You know, Tabitha, how is it going to change the perception of Mount Kenya? The deputy president going there for 3 days and campaigning, calling on the president to step aside, you know, stand aside and let me face the Honorable Raila Odinga, who is his competitor in the race, head on. Is it going to change the voting pattern ultimately? Will it?
I think from my end it's a no. It can't just affect the voting pattern automatically like that.
Yes.
As I said earlier, that we cannot, of course, underestimate or underrate the kind of following also that the deputy president has a little bit from the central parts of Kenya. And he understands that he literally needs votes from that place because it is the president's backyard. So he has to go there time and time again. But of course, he's also been telling us that the central Kenya is sure that the whole central Kenya are going to vote for him as their own preferred presidential candidate. So of late, we have seen him having some sort of fear, and that is why he has to go there time and time again. The only mistake he's doing is that, number one, he goes there and not literally sell himself as an individual, but goes there with the narrative of the president. Already the president has taken his side. So we need to move on past this. Now, what next? What next? So that if at all he wants to persuade the voters from that part, then the voters will be like, now, the president has taken his side, but the Honorable William Ruto also wants to be a president and wants our support. So on what grounds? That is the big question. And like what Jacob is saying, when they have good civic education, they will understand that they need to vote this and this type of a leader, not because he's very good in talking about other people in a bad way or trying to demean this and this person for him to be seen to be better, but because he has brought us ideologies that we literally find to be some things that we can associate with. I was really taken aback, especially even as a country, we were taken aback by some of the remarks that were made by politicians from the central parts of Kenya aligned to the deputy president. Whatever Moses Kuria and the likes were trying to perpetrate over the weekend during those times when they were in central Kenya for their tour, those were not things that we literally wanted to hear from them. There are things that do not have any basis. They're dividing the country, because when you call a particular community in some sort of way, then you still need us, or you need them to want to vote and have, and this person is supposed to be a symbol of national unity, and you want to try and demonize other people on lines that are literally very, very mediocre, then that is not something we want to literally support. So we, as a country, we are very democratic. And I want to applaud Honorable Raila Modi. He has been pushing for democracy for this country that we are enjoying right now, the freedom of speech and expression. It wasn't something that we would experience during the early times when Kenya got independence. So as much as we have the democracy,
but Kenyans cannot eat freedom of speech.
Give me my time. Give me my time. You'll have your time.
Okay, fine.
Give me my time.
Okay.
Thank you. So as much as we have the freedom of speech and association and movement, let us respect people's personal opinions. Let us also not step too much on issues that literally do not hold ground and other people will feel attacked. Better still, as Kenyans at this particular time, we have issues affecting us. Even in my community, I always involve them and tell them. I was telling some women whom we do economic activity stuff with in terms of empowerment, and I was telling them, right now, you know your issues as business communities, and literally right down from the NCA, it should not be how fluent or how good somebody is in coming to discuss or trying to influence you to vote for them, but literally, what do they have to show that they have you at heart, and they actually can make even the environment for your businesses favorable, and even the policies around them, so that you can vote them in as leaders. So I think if we can upscale our conversations like that up to the national level, then we will not be back here, Victor, discussing of any nullified presidential election come past August 9th.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Amisi, what's your take on that? And just as you answer to that question, do you really think the call for the deputy president, calling on the president now to stand aside rather, will tell how the voting pattern will be in the Mount Kenya region?
It might and it might not be, because it depends on how it is received, on that message, how it is going to be received. One of the things that somebody will ask, will say, why go to a market and ask those market people, the common people, to go and tell the president to do this? We were looking at the strategies. What is the best way? Are there no other channels that the deputy can reach the president so that they can iron out these things? So people say, this is politics. You know, the moment we dismiss it as politics, then the plus or minus may not be there. Now, suppose tomorrow, which is possible, or next week, possible, the president goes to the same areas and says somebody came here and he was telling you to do this. He is going to undo exactly what has been done. If it was my team, I would advise that those who are speaking the language that may affect other people should be told to soften. What they should do is explain. The whole Kenyan system right now is about economy. Let's explain better is it upwards economy or from down to up economy? How will it affect positively the common man or the Kenyan being? And then I've also heard from the Azimio side, they're also talking about economy. What steps, economic steps that will be taken to be able to arrive at improving the care? Somebody was saying both can work, depends on how they are being approached. You cannot fill the glass from the bottom. You can only fill the glass from the top. That is one economic concept. Suppose we pour more money from the national to down, the down will also get the money and they'll come up. the other people say, okay, from down we're saying improve the base, like a triangle, improve the base, and then you fill the glass. So these are the things that can be softened in terms of a language that the citizen can understand. In a soft way, like what I said earlier, Jacob, is Kiswahili safi. Unamvuta mtu paka anaingia kwenye box. You know what I'm trying to say? Not talking on top of him, because you will be chasing them away. So language of the economic policy, economic model that is coming from bottom up, and the other people, the language from the economic model, whatever they want to say, so that we compare which one will be better for us. The rest is language that will not affect. In fact, they should not spare more time talking about individuals. They should spare more time about issues, policy, development, accessibility, security, and the like. So I'm repeating advisory at this time. Let's focus on policies, economic and the development, and then we look at a good language to pull people back to ourselves.
Absolutely. Okay, gentlemen, lady, allow me to call for a break briefly. When we come back, we'll be coming back to the final stretch of this discussion. Just for us, I'll get back to you when we come back after this particular break. We'll be right back.
Are you an aspiring candidate in the upcoming general elections? Do you want your agenda and manifesto to reach your voters effectively? At KBC, we have the most comprehensive and credible online platform that has profiles of all prospective candidates. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants and let Kenyans know more about you, your past achievements, your manifesto, and your development agenda once you get elected to office. What's more, the website is easy to navigate. We will create your profile, post pictures and short videos with your campaign messages at affordable hosting fees. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants today and establish your brand authority as we lead towards the forthcoming general elections.
Tusha. Mbona ukuzama? Na matusi pia unayo.
Safari, hebu achana na mimi tafadhali. Sijui kama hawa wanangu siku moja watakuja kunielewa.
Anza kwa rafiki yao kwanza kabla ya kwa mama yao. Mimi na Leo hatutaki vita. Na Leo yanipenda. He is definitely our son.
All right, welcome back. Okay, Tabitha, we are back on air. All right. All right, Tabitha Ogutu, all the way from Siaya. We have got Hamisi Mboga from Mombasa via Zoom, as well as Jacob Mulako in studio. Jacob, you wanted to say something before we take a break?
Yes, I was going to touch on what we actually need to do a lot of agriculture and do a lot of industries, and these should be devolved. Let us have agriculture and industry devolved as per the devolved governance units. Let Busia produce what it can produce best. Let Tharaka Nithi County produce what it can produce best, and let Machakos produce what they can produce. Let them consume what they can consume. The surplus can be put into industries for processing.
Right.
And then they can sell to other counties or even export, so that we create wealth.
Okay. Habisi, why is the President Ruto's biggest headache come towards August election?
Why? Come again, Baker.
Why is President Kenyatta Ruto's biggest headache as we head to the election?
Yes, because, brothers, when you're about to change from one leadership to another, from one system to another, from one theory to another, in terms of this modeling, there'll be this kind of friction. But we must manage. We must manage them. Like what my brother is saying about the economic model. Yes, what I was saying and what we are saying is, let that explanation come out so that we know if we pick up this one, the economic model will be improving agriculture, improving industry at the county level. And then somebody says, yes, we were doing that because we were saying more money must go to the counties so that the counties can be able to facilitate. You know, all these are talks, and they must be structured so that somebody can see a way. The raising of the money is national, and therefore the distribution is national. But how much is getting to the bottom before the bottom can come up? So those are the kind of discussions we must have. How will it be? Because it cannot be just from the bottom or from the top. It must come from some place. So we are happy that this now is a discussion, and this economy is an issue. And let us take, because you cannot improve education without the economic level, you cannot improve all this. So it's a good topic, political topic to discuss, but let's come out with some strategies. And if you think back, we have come a long way in terms of addressing some of the things that are being said by our politicians today. So let them package a nice thing that can be sold to the people. And then in most cases, in scientific matters, we do a pilot. Let's pilot one area. Let's pilot Nairobi, Mombasa, and Kisumu, and Kirinyaga, and they say, oh, it is working. You remember the health aspect of Makueni. Everybody went to Makueni to check how is the professor doing with the health. So those are some of the things that will encourage us. This economic model, why don't we practice it? We have 6 months. It doesn't take 3 months to be able to start a pilot. But people say, oh, this is what is being thought about. So let's do it scientifically. Let's do it with a lot of social and moral thinking behind, and let's do it with improving the improvement of the community as a unit, like what Jacob is saying, by giving them power. If you sell your goods at the market, you'll get some feeding. If the transport system is there for you to send your goods, buyers are there, either locally or internationally. You know, these are some strategies that you can sell. Grow the avocado here. If we can't finish it in Kenya, the national government can look for market somewhere. This is what must be put in a paper and then put in practice so that we know we are coming. There's no government system that does not want continuity. If you look at the political philosophy,
the handshake came in, and we are tired of it. What next? What next? So another thing I will say, Victor, at this point in the country is that let us remain intentional.
Tabitha, my question still remains is that will Mount Kenya abandon the president as their de facto leader?
No, they will not abandon the president. They won't abandon the president. Why should they? What are the grounds for them abandoning the president? It's not something that is likely to happen. What we're likely to experience in Mount Kenya is democracy, basically. That some people will vote for Honorable.
Okay, it seems Tabitha, we have a problem with the audio there. We'll get back to you shortly. Let's just address that very quickly and get back to Tabitha and get her view. The same question I'm throwing to you, Jacob. Do you think even after, the deputy president campaign in the Mount Kenya region, he's quite vocal about it, will it change the mindset of the Mount Kenya region?
Well. It might not change much, but where I sit or where I stand,
yes,
I don't think the president has got the majority following in Mount Kenya. The Mount Kenya people already know what they want, and they want good leadership. And I'm not saying that they already decided that they are going to vote for the deputy president, William Ruto. I think they are still speaking amongst themselves.
Yes.
To get to know
which direction,
the right direction to take. So I can't say it's going to sway how they are going to vote. Yes. And maybe just to touch on what you asked Mr. Hamisi, why the president is Ruto's August election headache. It's a headache because the president still has a grip on the state machinery. And you've seen what has happened before, silencing Ruto supporters. So it is believed through selective prosecution and shielding people who are purported to be on the other side of the political divide.
Yeah.
He is also going to be a headache because he is going to eat into the support base that they had in the previous elections. So this is something that should worry the deputy president, and I believe his handlers are able to go around, or rather get the best strategy to address this. Yes.
And, it must be a big headache to the deputy president because he's trying, the way you put it, the president is still in control of the entire government. Talk of the intelligence, talk of everything. And he is the sitting head of state. So perhaps the biggest worry that the DP might be having, or lack of it, is that the influence might not work in his favor, but he's outgoing. So once all those things are deployed, the state machinery and what have you, then it might lead to unfair competition. That's what the deputy president probably has been talking about.
Yes, exactly. You've put it the right way, what I did not capture. We are, if it continues the way it's going today, then we are assured of an election that is not going to be free and fair. So I wish, I will want to urge my president today to kindly, as the deputy president has always asked him, to step aside, or rather stand aside and let the will-be, or rather those people who are seeking office, to go to the Mwananchi, entice them, tell them why they are the best suited to take over the leadership of this country.
Yeah.
So that after the elections, in his retirement, he can still remain with the respect that Kenyans have always held towards him, other than taking sides. Whether the side that he chooses takes leadership, then there are those who won't subscribe to his way of support, will not want to always hold him with high regard. Those who will be on the winning side, well, they will always praise him. But I think it is a question, or rather an issue, that should concern everyone. Why is every Kenyan's lip on the president? Those who support Azimio are applauding him for doing so, and those who are on the other side, Kenya Kwanza, are castigating him. Why is every Kenyan a lip on the president? Why can't he see that Kenyans really want him to not to be very much involved or actively involved in the coming general elections?
Yeah. Hamisi, you've heard what Jacob has said, but do you really think that the president or the president, the same kind of situation has been replicated somewhere in other jurisdictions, you know? a bit. And that was Eye on the Politics. Thank you so much, Amisi Boga from Mombasa, communication our analyst and consultant, as well as Jacob Maluka, who is political analyst, joining us.
Letting the people decide.
Let the